Okay, so this is the farmer problem. And again, this is one that I hear shows up on the HESI regularly. Don't memorize the answer because these are not the real numbers that'll show up, and your real numbers that show up are probably not going to be the same even as somebody else who took the test and remembers what numbers they had. Learn how to do these steps, but also make sure you are understanding why you're doing each step the way you are, because if they change the question around slightly and are asking for something else, you need to be able to do that on the fly. Okay, so a farmer has 160 total acres of farmland. It costs him $600 per acre to farm the land. He gets 200 bushels of corn per acre. He sells the corn for $4 per bushel. What's his total profit? Okay, so just focusing right now on what we want to find. It's his profit, which is, of course, going to be in dollars. So, how many dollars profit? So that assumes you know what profit is. And I assume you do, but just to be clear, it's how much money you made after all of your expenses. So if you're making jewelry and you're selling it on Etsy and it costs you $3 in materials and everything else, postage, everything, to make a necklace, and you sell it for $10, then you're making $7 profit on each necklace. But that's your profit per necklace, and this one's total profit, so you'd have to figure out how many you sell in a month. Say you sell 100 in a month and you're making $7 profit on each one, then your total profit's going to be $700. So we need to work through the steps for this situation. Okay, so we're given a whole bunch of stuff. 160 total acres of farmland. And that's not connected to any other number. So 160 acres. And $600 per acre means $600 equals 1 acre. And 200 bushels also equals 1 acre. And when he sells the corn, the cost is, or the price he gets for it is $4 per bushel, meaning $4 equals 1 bushel. So we're using the same process here as in the previous section, to that every number you come across, if it's saying per acre, that means equals 1 acre, and per bushel means equals 1 bushel, and then you'll be able to set these all up as ratios. So we want our answer to be in dollars, and we have two different things that involve dollars here. We have $600 equals 1 acre and $4 equals 1 bushel. But because this is a profit question, there's two different dollar amounts that we need to work on here. We need to know the revenue and the cost. The revenue meaning what they sell it for. So the 160 acres is neither cost nor revenue. That's information we need in there. But the $600 to farm an acre, that is a cost. And so in this case, we really need to make a note of that $600 equals 1 acre is a cost, because to get profit, we're going to have to find the revenue, which is the total amount that he takes in selling the corn, and subtract out the cost. The 200 bushels equals 1 acre. That is going to be more related to the revenue, but we don't necessarily need to recognize that. What we need to do is for the $2 amounts. We really need to figure out which ones are costs and which ones are revenue. So when he sells the corn, that's the revenue. So when we're solving it, we want to solve for the cost and for the revenue separately. And then we're going to take the revenue, subtract out the cost to get the profit. So for the cost, we're going to do what we've been doing in several of the others and find the one number that's given to us that is not equal to anything. So that's 160 acres. And then we only want to use numbers that are associated with the cost. And here we have one that's $600 equals 1 acre. And so we'll start by putting 1 acre in the denominator so that it cancels, and $600. And then we'll cancel out our acres, and we'll get a cost of 160 times 600, and that is 96,000 even. Imagine being a farmer and having to spend that much money. Why can't I get this to do what I want it to? I'm going to have to do it this way. Okay, so, I'm going to put it up here, the cost. We've calculated $96,000. 96,000. Okay, so now for the revenue, we've got $4 equals 1 bushel, 200 bushels equals 1 acre that we haven't used. So we're still talking about acres, and so even though we've already used 160 acres, we're going to use it again here. Calculation. We only want to use things either related to the revenue or just general things about the farm. So now we've got 1 acre is 200 bushels. And then we've got 1 bushel is $4. And so similarly, we can go through and calculate 160 times 200 times 4, and that gives us a revenue of $128,000. And so now for the profit, we're going to take the revenue minus the cost, and that's going to be $128,000 revenue minus the cost of 96,000, and 128,000 minus 96,000 will give us our profit of $32,000. Okay, so we have to, in this one, we have to separately calculate the cost based on the acres and the cost per acre, the revenue based on how many bushels of corn he gets per acre, number of acres, and how much he can sell the corn for, and then the difference, the revenue, what he gets selling the corn, minus the cost, what it costs him to farm the land, gives us the farmer's total profit.